So on my left fraction, I have the red, so I need to factor p squared minus 5p plus 6. And then on my right fraction is going to be the blue. So factoring, factors of 6 that add up to be negative 5, x minus 3, x minus 2. Blue, factor that out of p squared minus 9. I'm going to have x minus 3, x plus 9. Oops, x plus 3, excuse me. So the same, highlight it. What's different? So common denominator, the same, is going to be x minus 3, missing the x plus 3, and I'm missing the x minus 2. So on the top, I'm going to have to multiply on the top by x plus 3, because I'm missing the blue part, and on the bottom I need to multiply by x minus 2. So the red fraction, 2p minus 3 times x plus 3 minus 5 times x minus 2. And I'm going to simplify that first before I look at anything on the bottom. So, oh, these are not x's, these are p's. Pomeroy, what are you doing? So we're going to rewrite all those. That's a p, that's a p, that's a p, that's a p, 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 p. Alright, so let me fix that. P minus 3, p minus 2. That'd be a lot prettier now. So, left side, multiply. 2p times p is 2p squared. 2p minus 3, negative 6p, minus 3p, plus 9. Distribute, I'm going to just take the negative with it for today because I don't have the time, patience. Minus 5 times p is a minus 5p. Minus 5 times negative 2 is a plus 10. So combine like terms. I'll write those out in purple. So I'm going to have a 2p squared. Negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. Minus 5 is a negative 14. Plus 19. And that's all divisible by the LCM, which I wrote wrong to begin with, which would be p minus 2 times p minus 3 times p plus 3. Now you got to be careful because you got to double check factors of 38, 2 times 19, that add up to be negative 14. The factors of 38 are 2 and 19. So there's nothing to get me to 14, so I am done. E. Let's draw a line here. Factors are pretty nice. So I'm going to have 3 colors. I'm going to have 5n. I'm going to have 4. And then I'm going to have 10n. So the nice thing about this is, 5n and 10n are pretty much the same. So in order to make 5n become 10n, this is really, if you wanted to write it out as a factor, 2 times 5n, so you can see the factor. So the same that I have is 5n and 5n. So my LCN is going to be 5n. I'm going to have the 2. But the cool thing about 2 and 4 is 2 and 4 go together. So, I mean, this one's a little bit trickier, but what's the number that all these can multiply into? 4, 5, and 10 all multiply into 20. So out of these two, I would use the 4. Or I would just figure out what number they all go into, 20n. When it's a monomial like this, you can literally do them all times each other, or find what's the first number they all multiply into. So 5, 4, and 10 all multiply into 20. And so a different approach, which would have been a better approach, is to write out the numerical values, because I know I'm going to have an n because that's a variable. So I need n. 5, 4, and 10. Taking the largest number, what's the multiples? 10 and 20. 5 goes into 10, but 5 and 4 both go into 20, so then I'm just going to use 20n. So with that, in order to make 10n, to make 10n get to 20n, I'm going to multiply by 2. In order to make 4 become 20n, I'm going to multiply by 5n. And to multiply 5 to get to 5n, excuse me, that's really a 5n originally. To get that to 20, I'm going to multiply by 4. So, left fraction, I'm going to have 1 times 4 minus 3 times 5n plus 7 times 2. And that's all going to be divisible by 20n. So really, I'm going to have 4 minus 15n plus 14, which that simplifies down into 18 minus 15n, all divided by 20n. And then that's your final answer. So with that, the last one I have is f, so I'm going to erase all this for f. Figure out how to get rid of those. Those are shapes. Don't know how to get rid of shapes. Yeah, we'll just go with it. So ignore those circles there. Can't get rid of them. So red is going to be a minus 3. Blue is going to be a plus 3. And purple is going to be a minus 3 and a plus 3. So on my left fraction, I don't need to do anything with that, so I'm going to put this 36 over here, because I'm not going to change that at all. Common denominator, or my LCM, is going to be literally a minus 3 and a plus 3. So I'm going to write that down over here. A minus 3, a plus 3. In order to make the blue one become that, I need the a minus 3, and to make the red one become that, I need a plus 3. So I'm going to have a plus 3 and an a minus 3. For the red fraction, it's going to be times by 2a minus, whoops, let's go green, black, minus a minus 3 times that wonderful blue 2a. So moving that over, 2a times a is 2a squared plus 6a. 2a, so I'm going to put this minus. 2a times a is 2a squared minus 6a plus 36. So 2a squared minus 2a squared is going to be nothing. Those will cancel out. And then 6a minus a 6a becomes a 12a plus 36. Divided by a minus 3 and a plus 3. On the top, I can factor out a 12. So I factor out a 12, I get a plus 3 over a minus 3 times a plus 3. And so cancel out the a plus 3's. My final answer is going to be 12 divided by a minus 3. So there's your last video. I will get these uploaded and emailed to you also. If you have questions, please make sure that you ask me. I spent most of the afternoon doing this video, so I'm available for questions, but it'll be very seldom. Not seldom, sorry. I will check my email if you send me questions.